Munster resident James Jones. Hi, James. Jim, how are you?
I'm good, thank you.
I'm very excited to have you. I feel very safe now, at least till the end, till you're gone. I feel like I spent some time on the website and read some emergency preparedness plans and ideas, and the idea that most of the time probably your family unit's not exactly always huddled together when things happen, and you have to be ready.
Well, one of our slogans is "It's not what you have, it's what you have with you that counts."
That sounds great. And you have been an advocate for this for 40 years. You're an EMT. Might I say, I'm lapsed in my membership, but I was a first responder at one time. And it certainly trained enough if you started to have a heart attack and needed me to CPR. Even you, Tony Shamari, I would be able to provide you with that service. And you've got a couple of great books here. When did you start writing? Again, how did you get into this, by the way?
I started writing for our group newsletter. I founded a group called Live for USA. It's a nonprofit, tax-deductible organization to promote preparedness and survival. This back in the about 1968, and I started writing for that for the newsletter American Survivor, which is now the oldest preparedness publication in the country that survived. And then lately, of course, preparedness has become much more acceptable than it was and much higher profile. So I started getting magazines, wanted to publish my articles, and then I said, hey, maybe I can put together a book or two here, and I did.
Which one's the first one? We got Beyond Survival.
The first one is Beyond Survival, an introduction to the self-reliance revolution. It
looks great, and again, you even have some techniques for, like if you're out for preparing yourself to fish, and I wanted to ask you about one particular chapter, if you don't mind.
Okay.
There's one chapter called Hot and Cold. Now, my wife is pretty much hot or cold at all times now, so I need to prepare for this.
Yeah.
Well, obviously, this means being out in the warm or the cold, probably, and how
do you stay cool? How do you stay warm in the winter? How do you stay cool?
Right.
We're so,
spoiled.
Spoiled to use another term, but we're the least prepared generations, generations. In that book, I introduce each chapter by saying, for instance, a brief history of garbage. Okay, what did we do with the garbage before the garbage truck used to come and pick it up?
What did we do?
A brief history of human waste. What did we do? Okay,
right.
So you got to deal with those subjects.
I've been thinking about some of that stuff lately.
And let's say a cyber attack. Let's say we have any number of things, but a cyber attack. Okay, now the sewage pumps don't work. The grocery store doesn't get the groceries. The water pumps don't work. Number of scenarios that could lead to that kind of thing. Well, what do I do? Well, we got along without those things before.
We did. Food's just on the ground places. That's why people live near where that stuff grew, I guess, I imagine.
And we have better technology now, so you can use a combination of old technology, things we even learned from the Amish, and new technology, some of the solar stuff. And there's some really great.
Right.
I have a stove that burns twigs and generates electricity to recharge my cell phone, believe it or not.
That's very cool.
Some cool stuff, yeah.
I like that. So these are things that you just continue to add things to your tool belt all the time. Sort of, you've heard the phrase life hacks things, right?
Right.
Things to help survive in life if, you need to, right?
I do a presentation called Survival Stuff, and I just take stuff out of Tote Bin and tell people, well, you can use this for that, and here's a new gadget.
That's what I was reading here for the fishing, so that you can sort of walk away and still set the hook kind of thing.
Exactly, because you may have a lot of other things to do.
Right.
That book is aimed at actually evolving into a more self-reliant.
Yeah, off the grid stuff.
You don't have to be off the grid.
But
you just have to have the potential
be near the
to
grid.
be off the grid.
I want to be near it just in case I got to jump back on.
Yeah.
But I'd rather be right over here.
Yeah, I was at a survival camp in Missouri years ago, and a guy took. It was just we looked like we were from. Apocalypse Now.
Sure.
And the guy, the Green Beret, told us, but you don't want to really live this way.
No.
But you want to be able to live long enough to get back to, some kind of a lifestyle.
Right on. And you have, again, not only this book, we'll talk about the other book in a minute. You have an upcoming expo. Where's that at?
Yes, we're doing the Preparedness Expo at the Porter County Fairgrounds at the Porter County Expo Center. It's not sponsored by us particularly, but I am speaking there. There'll be vendors, lots of vendors selling this kind of equipment that we just talked about, not only for outdoor emergency survival, but home preparedness, disasters, self-reliance, and sustainable living, like solar, solar energy, that kind of thing, water filtration systems.
Right, and I was even like, there's sort of ways of trapping like the dew and like because there's water, you know, there's condensation all around us at all times.
Right, rain barrels and that kind of, and they'll be selling that kind of thing. There'll be speakers and workshops. They're having these expos all over the country, and my organization and I worked hard to bring this particular expo, and they're one of the best, to Northwest Indiana.
Right.
So we're real proud. This is going to be on May 6th, on Saturday.
All day. From
9 a.m. till 5 p.m. the Porter County Fairgrounds. If you want to go to www.GLEPE.com, you can actually see their website.
That's awesome. And my guess is that emergency preparedness was something I remember studying pretty hard when I was a scout.
Yeah.
Imagine maybe you have been in touch with
the
Calumet Council and those folks over there, sometimes helping you guys out. Again, Porter County Expo Center, beautiful place. I've been there a few times. And so there's a full day of emergency preparedness speakers.
Yes.
Or what time if people wanted to?
They usually, the speakers will probably start at 10 and go till 4:30.
Right on.
But admission, I think, is $5.
That's nothing for a day.
And then you got the workshops and everything are all included after that.
Sweet. And then, there'll be other people like you, with some types of equipment. What can you tell us about this one? Again, this one's the bigger one. Let's start with, again, and where can folks get these? Probably Amazon.
Amazon.com, or they can go to the Paladin Press website.
Yep.
And
Paladin Press.
Yep.
Just like the
Press.
The TV show from our youth, right? One of our youths, anyway. This is, again, Beyond Survival. It says a guide to the self-reliance revolution. I love it. I've been actually looking at, I don't know. I'm going to have we're thinking about getting out of our business soon, and I might have some extra dollars. Have you heard of these, like, hydroponic sort of trucks where you can have your whole, all your, your perishables and sell them just because things grow up on the side and the top.
Oh, yeah.
You don't waste any space. You've seen this?
See, this is where we're evolving from I've got an emergency pack and I've got stuff in my pocket to this is the way I live.
Yeah.
If this breaks down, I still have an alternate system.
Right.
That's a phase beyond, we try to get people to start with. One of the questions I always get is, well, how do I start? What do I do? And I say, well, go home and take some cans and put a date on them and put them aside for emergencies. Fill up some containers with water. Go out and buy some candles and a good flashlight and just start, somewhere down that road. You're talking about aquaponics and hydroponics and, where they raise the fish and the fish waste. You seen that?
Oh, yeah.
The fish waste actually feeds the plants and the plants are fed to the fish. And
it's just the circle of life kind of thing. Have you seen the movie The Martian? That was
a great movie.
Right? I mean, he survives out there. Again, similar. I mean, I imagine this would be something up your alley, definitely. And when you speak at these, you talk about some of these principles of survival like you have in the book. Is that?
Actually, I'm going to, the second book is based on my 10 principles of survival.
This the Live Free Book of Total Survival.
Yeah.
This looks like more of a workbook, boy. You could really...
It's got a lot in it. I actually got myself into something by promising the publisher I was going to do that, and I didn't know what I was...
you really did, right? Look at this. Beautiful.
10 ways to get and preserve food. 10 ways to get and protect water.
Right,
and
drying it
water.
probably, right?
10 street survival techniques, because I was born and raised on the south side of Chicago.
You got that's survival skills right there, right?
Yeah, I try not to say dis and dat and dem, but I was raised on the south side.
Right on. It's the baddest part of town. They'll tell you. It's in the song.
So I have 10 self-defense techniques, 10 emergency disasters you should be prepared for. There's a lot in that. I packed a lot into that book.
Can we talk about a few of them when we get back from our commercial break? All right, folks, we're talking with James Jones, again, a long advocate for survival and emergency preparedness. He's got 2 books here, Beyond Survival, A Guide of Self-Reliance and Revolution, and then his second one, The Live Free Book of Total Survival. You can check them out both at Amazon.com or PaladinPress.com. and we'll be back to talk about more about his Porter County engagement and your questions, if you like, at 845-1100 is the Carpenter's Local 599 phone line. We'll be right back.
With the weather finally starting to warm up, that also means ants and other bugs are coming. Rapid Pest Solutions is local and family-owned and does complete residential and commercial pest control solutions. Get rid of those pesky mosquitoes and take your yard back this summer. We have custom programs to address your specific needs. Check out our website at rapidpestsolutions.com. Call Rapid Pest Solutions at 219-922-2000 and mention you heard us on WJOB. You'll receive 25% off your first visit. Got ants? Get Rapid.
I want to be like the pretty people on my TV.
Now you can.
All I need are gleaming white teeth.
We can help you.
Can you find the right dentist for me?
Dr. Andy Coulteritis, he does cosmetic dental.
Will he hurt me?
No, he's gentle.
I'm terrified of pain.
He's the kindest in the land.
He sounds great. Could you repeat his name?
Dr. Andy Coulteritis, 219-836-1111.
Thanks.
Hey, who's ready for a Polish, huh? Come on, eh?
Who's ready for a Polish?
Who's ready for a Polish?
Who's ready for a Polish? Who's ready for a Polish?
Who's ready for a Polish? Who's ready for a Polish?
Who's ready for a Polish?
Vodka Johnny is ready for a Polish.
Who's ready for a Polish?
Who's ready for a Polish? Who's ready for a Polish? I don't know. Who's ready for a Polish?
Who's ready for a beer? Who's ready for a Polish?
Big Frank Sausage, 1417 Carroll Street, right here in beautiful Roxana, East Chicago. 219-378-9556. Smacznego i na zdrowie.
Ogren Insurance has been serving the area since 1947 and provides insurance for life, home, auto, business, and more. If you're looking for one-on-one service, the best rates, knowledge, and experience, Ogren Insurance is your agency. Our number one goal is to provide you with the coverage you need at the most competitive price. To learn about the insurance solutions and services we offer in Indiana, Illinois, and Michigan, call 219-933-0076 or see our website, OgrenInsurance.com. Ogren Insurance, 6929 Holman Avenue in Hammond. Accidents happen. Be protected with Ogren Insurance.
Laborers Local 41 proudly represents the hardworking, highly skilled, and expertly trained men and women who work to maintain our local streets and highways, protect and remediate our environment, and build and renovate our schools. Laborers Local 41, investing today for a better Indiana tomorrow.
What is it? It's the mishmash. It's Soundgarden, Pearl Jam, half in, half and out. I don't know. Can't figure it out. 523 in the region. I got them checking out the Live Free book of total survival. What's great here, Jim, some visual aids here for people that need stuff like that, which is me.
Yeah, I found out that the publishers love photographs of things, so.
And you've got some interesting stuff here. If you had to throw out there, what's the flashlight people should have? What's the standard?
Well, you know, in the old days, you used to have the 3 or 4 bulb LED flashlights.
Yeah,
now you've got some really what they call tactical flashlights that are available, and I've got some pictures in there.
Right.
You want to have a really bright flashlight. You don't
that
want to
reaches.
You don't want to have a cheap flashlight. And you can get them now where you touch the button and they go to strobe. They actually blink SOS.
Right.
And you want to have this in your bedside drawer.
Right. Yes, because you also got a nice little handle on it, right? So you can just wrap it up someone's head just in case they want to tuck you in at night and they were not invited.
Exactly. By the way, in your bedside drawer, you want to take your, if I can leave our listeners with one tip, take your car keys and your cell phone and put them on your bedside table every night. Because if something bad happens in the middle of the night, a fire or a tornado alarms go off
You
or
want
whatever,
those two
you're not
things.
going to have time to go rummage around looking for your cell
Where's
phone.
my keys? It's
and
on
your
the white.
keys.
Yeah.
So then you're going to leave your car in your burning garage, or you're not going to be able to get away from the area. So those are two things. We've got a whole program on what to put in your.
And you can find that in when you speak or in this book?
In both, actually. I talk about
yeah. Well, that's some stuff is universal. I mean, it never gets stupid. You know, it always is useful. And again, these are things that you've cultivated probably and helped change over your life. How about like food wise? I mean, someone's traveling, Jim, and they've provided themselves with nothing to eat. At the side of the road, what would you say is the first move?
Well, what I have in my glove compartment is actually what they call lifeboat rations.
Okay.
It's got 2,000 calories and a vacuum pack, so that
you should get some hands on some of that stuff.
Actually,
right?
That stuff will be on sale, I'm sure, at this expo. If you contact me, by the way, I want to give you some contact information. It's important. You can go to our website at AmericanSurvivor.org. That's AmericanSurvivor.org. And you'll find a lot of articles that are free. You'll find information on events that are going on. And you can actually join the organization. And for $20, you can download 52 back issues of our newsletter.
Excellent.
And if you join on paper, we will mail it to you as well.
This is classy.
So
this is
top end.
It's not just one page front and back.
No.
I mean, you've got a nice little, a full sort of magazine, magazine based on the subject matter.
Actually, sometimes it has more actual information in it than the fancy magazines with all our oversized.
Right. Oh yeah. Right. With the slicky
things.
paper and all that craziness.
And people are welcome to email me at survivorjj@aol.com.
That works.
Just use the WJOB for your subject line, so I know what it's about.
Right. I want to make sure I get to everything. Don't forget, he will be speaking during the day this coming Saturday, May 6th, sometime between 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. out at the Porter County Expo Center. That's, of course, in Valparaiso, south of US 30 and Indiana 49. You can come by the website, again, AmericanSurvivor.org. Again, I'm there right now. I can show you. I'm with you, Jim, and hopefully I'll be at a chance to sign up here. I read, again, the articles, Principles of Emergency Planning was where I spent some time today reading. Am I getting to everything?
Well, there's a lot. Sure. We're going to do another big event, Camp Independence, at Camp Topanibi outside of Michigan City this fall on November 8th and 9th. And there'll be much more.
September 8th and 9th.
September 8th and 9th, yeah, September 8th and 9th. That'll be a much more elaborate as far as detailed classes. You mentioned Boy Scouts.
Yes.
It's a Boy Scout camp.
Sure.
There's going to be a lot of outdoor activities and that kind of thing.
Right on.
So there'll be more information on our website.
Check it out. Camp Topanibi, again, south of Michigan City. That's September 8th and 9th. Check them out again at AmericanSurvivor.org. I think this is a great opportunity. Can you tell us any stories from your life? Have you had an opportunity where you sort of had to, it came in real handy for you, or like your advice possibly helped somebody in a, sort of a story kind of
Well,
way?
yeah, we've had a lot of things. Actually, my whole interest in this started, to make long story short, I had a hard childhood, so I don't remember not having a survival kit.
Oh, right, I got you.
Even from 10, 12 years old. So that's how I got into this. But I was in the Grand Canyon many years ago.
Okay.
I walked down to the bottom of the Grand Canyon. I had a full canteen of water. I had the salt pills, all that good stuff. What I didn't understand was I was in a different environment. I'm a flatlander, okay?
Yes.
Well, I became very dehydrated. I had hypothermia, dehydration. I talked to the ranger, and he said, this happens all the time. It's all the time. People don't understand how the body reacts.
Yeah.
So as a result of that, I got into studying. I said, well, we need to do something about this. So that's sort of how I got into this, actually.
Neat.
Then I became a safety manager for a Fortune 200 corporation.
Aha.
And all of this safety science
came at you from all the places they sent you for information. Yeah.
Hazard analysis, what-if analysis, emergency planning, that all fit into my career, and that transferred to the safety side, the survival side.
Very neat. 845-1100.
We have Chuck on the line.
Oh, great. Hey, Chuck, thanks for calling. You're on the air.
Hey, guys. Hey, the one thing I wanted to make sure that Jim talked about a little bit,
I don't know if you guys remember back a little bit after, say, 9/11. The country was obviously in a different place, and we were talking a lot about, they tried to tell everybody buy plastic and duct tape and all this stuff.
Oh, right, yeah.
And you remember that? And one of the things that they talked about, and it was that press conference and that whole time frame, one of the things they stressed is they said, look, you need to be, as an individual, as a family, you need to be prepared to be self-sufficient for, what did they say, Jim, like 72 hours or basically a week. They said you need to be prepared to be alone, and if something happens, you need to be prepared to take care of yourself for, a week. And one of the things, I've spent some time with Jim and his group, and just one, one visit, you learn so much. One, like you said, visit to the website or going to one meeting. There's so many little tips that you pick up, all these little things where it's like all these little gotchas.
Yeah.
And just spending one day with them, and all these little things where you make you get a little make a little list of, well, I don't have, even we always joked about Jim had mentioned canned food, and everybody's everybody thinks about, well, I got to store some food, but the one thing they always forget about is how many people actually own one of these old-fashioned manual can openers,
Right.
So it's like one of those, well, I got all this food, but now I can't get to it because I didn't think to buy a
banging on a rock, going, I'll get to these beans no matter what. We'll be, dinner served, I guess, on this rock.
So that's kind of all I wanted to mention, have Jim talk about a little bit, was just the idea of you learn so much from his group, so much from his website, just from one visit. There's so many little things that you take away. No matter how prepared you think you are, there's always 100 little things that you didn't think of, and 100 little gotchas,
Especially
that's all I wanted to add.
For the campers of the world, people like going, because we have this with, down at Tippecanoe and all this, right, Chuck? I mean, there's plenty of people that are just taking a tent and they're spending time. You could probably make their life a whole lot easier, is what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah, well, if you're an outdoor wilderness camper, you're a little bit, you're well ahead of the people that don't even do that. It gives you a leg up. But as he said, the big point is to be able to, no matter what it is, whether it's an epidemic, terrorist attack, storm, whatever, if you're able to be self-reliant for 72 hours or a week or a month, the longer the better, because most of the problems come from being out there and interacting and, being out,
And you're saying, well, certainly if there's a breakdown of social services, that's probably a sign to hide out and not become, you're putting yourself out there.
You don't want to be obsessed with this idea of putting your pack on and evacuating. Lots of times it's much better to shelter in place.
Right. Hey, Chuck, I've seen these things on TV, maybe you have as well. They're touting like, well, this is a family of 4 for, 3 weeks or 4 weeks, whatever. I've been on this diet, which sort of gives me little things of food. It makes me think of this. Is this something people should invest in?
Yes.
To have, again, a packet of food that sort of, says up to 25 years.
Let's think about this, though, is, you like, for instance, you buy a pail. And one of the things that I bought recently was I think it was basically a 3 or 4 day pail for the family. And it's one of those, well, you've got this pail, but did you actually stop and read and see what you need in addition to it? Or how would you even, make sure you have a way to save some water? Do short of fill in a bunch of little water bottles, do you have a couple of, I bought a bunch of containers, and obviously there's all these little tricks that Jim will teach you about, how to find water. So it's like one of those, you can have all the emergency rations in the world, but again, if you don't have like a little $2 can opener, or you don't have a way to store some water before it's too late, you're kind of stuck. There's all these little gotchas. You can be, and again, even like the outdoorsman, you could have all the outdoorsmen, all the camping supplies in the world, but is it so that you can go camping for the night, or is it actually, actually take all your camping supplies, go camping for the weekend, and see how far you get without, how far can you get with the stuff on your back kind of thing.
Right on.
You just don't want to buy stuff. You need to put these kits together yourself and put your lists together and your plans together yourself so that you know what you're going to do. You just buy a survival kit and put it in your closet. It's not going to work.
The bald guy doesn't need the comb. Take the comb out.
Well,
make room for more bug spray.
You'd be surprised at things that people don't think about.
Oh, that's what I'm saying.
Thing. So if you think you're prepared, you pack
prescriptions, extra prescription medications, dental repair kits, just little things you wouldn't think about.
That you need to have. Great. Chuck, thanks, buddy.
Certainly.
All right, guys. We appreciate your time. Give out the folks the social media information, how they can get a hold of you. Again, we know it's AmericanSurvivor.org. That's the website.
And you can email me at survivorjj at AOL.com. That's survivorjj at AOL.com. I always answer my emails. Put WJOB in the subject line so I know what it's about.
Right on. Again, I'm taking a look at their American Survivor newsletter right here. Again, the topic is that they're doing special Survivor for children and adolescents. So if you were a family and you wanted to teach your kids some added, skills, and probably based on size and their needs, certainly they don't need to eat as much as I need to eat.
It's not just about Armageddon. It's about everyday safety and survival, and the young people are the most important part of our
Certainly, because everything's sort of in a box for them, and they need to know to think outside of that box. Great to have you. Will you come on again?
Yes, I will.
Okay, Jim Jones, check him out and everything that we've been talking about. I will be talking about this expo all week long. We'll be back, Tony Panic, with traffic and weather, and the Tomfoolery Fun Club when we return on AM 1230, FM 104.7,